The MonsterVerse has brought us two Godzilla films. One is Gareth Edwards' 2014 Godzilla, and the other is Michael Dougherty's Godzilla King of the Monsters from 2019. In the public conscious, Godzilla 2014 is often seen as the better movie, but today I'll prove to you it's actually King of the Monsters. Now, let's try to look at what Godzilla 2014 is better. It is more realistic, but is that a good thing? I would say no. It's just a different approach, and not inherently better because of it. Furthermore, Godzilla 2014 has the best individual character. Bryan Cranston's performance and character make him arguably the best character in the MonsterVerse. So that's a point for Godzilla 2014. But on the whole, I would argue the characters are on the same level, and maybe even King of the Monsters is better. The writing on both these movies is around the same level. Both have have flaws in the writing, they aren't so big that'll take you out of the experience. However, I'd argue that King of the Monsters does nearly everything else better. Firstly, it looks way better. I'm not even talking about CGI. CGI is not on the same level. I'm talking about the art direction. One of the biggest flaws of 2014 is that it's so dark, like literally. When you're watching it, you can't see anything. Also, when watching it, you get the feeling that it's almost a shame to be a Godzilla movie because of how little he appears. And when he does, we barely see him. This is completely opposed to King of the Monsters, where he and all the other monsters are front and center. The movie is very bright and not at all afraid to show them off. The constant monster action and mood of the film brings back something like a modern reinterpretation of the Showa era. Also, the villains in the monster are better than 2014. 2014 doesn't really have human antagonists, and King of the Monster does, so it automatically gets the point there. While the human villain in 2019 isn't amazing, Charles Dance plays the character well, but the kaiju villains are way better. King Ghidorah is way more threatening and has much more screen presence than the Mutos. This is due to a lot of factors, one of them being his size. He towers over Godzilla, giving us a visual representation of their power difference. Another great thing about him is that he always beats Godzilla 1v1. Godzilla only won due to the power from Mothra. This just makes Ghidorah a much more threatening and memorable villain. Also, he actually has personality. Seeing how the three heads interact is actually quite charming throughout the film. Another category King of the Monsters has 2014 beat is the music. The music in 2014 isn't very memorable. Really just the opening and ending actually stick with you. However, the music in 2019 is constant bangers. You get tons of remix of old classics and new songs that complement the scene perfectly. Also, King of the Monsters is much more of an emotional heart. While the family dynamic in 2014 between Ford Brody, his wife, and son are good, King of the Monster has a better family dynamic. You get much more connected to the whole of the Russells because they're actually characters. You understand why Mark Russell's so hesitant towards Godzilla. The kid in this movie, played by Millie Bobby Brown, is an actual character instead of just a kid watching TV. Whether she's a good character or not is up for debate, but it's much better than the kid in 2014 who just kind of plays with toys and watches TV. The wife gets something to do, and now she's a side antagonist who gets redeemed at the end. Again, the quality of her character is up for debate. People hate her. I don't really like her either, but it's better than the wife in 2014 because she actually gets to do something. Just being, just around to watch Godzilla and then does nothing. So it's actually some interpretation or writing with her. The writers she tried something with her, whether it landed or not, for debate. But I'd argue it's better than 2014. Furthermore, Serizawa's sacrifice is handled very well. Compared to Bryan Cranston's death, who just kind of falls, it is infinitely better. Serizawa completed his character arc, sacrificed himself for his goals and ideals. He believed Godzilla was the answer, and his final act in reviving Godzilla proved the point that he was trying to make his whole life. Next, the pacing in King of the Monsters is way better than in 2014. In 2014, near the middle, it's just a drag a bit. It's a much slower film, and you can start to feel that near the halfway point. However, King of the Monsters is just non-stop action. You won't get bored watching this movie because there's always something for everyone around the corner. Whether it's some action scenes, some drama, betrayal, whatever, there's always something. You're never going to get bored, which just makes the replay value much better than 2014. In addition, King of the Monsters is arguably the best scene in the whole Monsterverse. Rodan's awakening is just a perfect sequence of events, and it can stand on its own as a high-budget Rodan short. Moreover, cinematography in King of the Monsters is way better. Godzilla 2014 has arguably just as good cinematography, but it gets drowned out due to its color palette. You can't see any of the shots, so necessarily matter. However, King of Monsters has just as good shots, and you can actually see them. They're in full color. They're bright. You get to see the monsters. You get to see all of the monsters. It makes the shots much more memorable and resonating with the viewer. Another thing King of Monsters as well is expanding the lore. It introduces you to things like the Hollow Earth theory and Rodan and a bunch of other titans, which just make the world much bigger. In 2014, it was just Godzilla and the Mutos, but this one is a real monster movie. The monsters are the main characters. They're the complete focus. It's all about them. In conclusion, Godzilla King of Monsters is a better film than Godzilla 2014 due to its better visuals, music, cinematography, characters, villains, expanding the lore, and nearly everything else. Thanks for watching, and let me know whether you agree or not.